Check mic, check mic. Oh no. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's gonna be one of them nights. Let me know if you can hear me. What's going on? Well, Wayne, Aisha Stockton, Miss Della, Beautiful Spirit, Marcus Exara, Thomas Reese. What the bubble eyes for, Thomas Reese? Thomas Reese in here with the bubble eyes, like it's Messy Monday or something. Aisha, check your IG DMs when you have a moment, please. Wednesday night, R. Kelly night. We're going to be getting started in just un momento. Give me a second. Hazel, what's going on? All right. I think y'all can hear me. I think I saw some bells. So let me go ahead and do it official, right?
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. This God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back. I am the Goddess Dawn. That's right. And I'm back live on this Wednesday, July 14, 2021. Yes. We're saying yes to life. Much gratitude to the true source, my creator, God, the Father in heaven, for this beautiful life. I'm so grateful to be here with you. Yeah. It's R. Kelly night. Blah. I just even hate saying that, but it is. Like promised on Wednesday. But before we do get into R. Kelly, and let me share my link real quick, because I know a couple of y'all might want to come in. Hey, Daddy's girl. Hey, Chrissy Power. Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well and staying safe, because some people thought this pandemic was over, but I've been telling y'all that's not the case. All right. So we're getting into R. Kelly, all things R. Kelly tonight. You know, there was some updates since we last were here, and we're going to be back on that Crimeline too. All right, y'all. Do we care that Bill Cosby's out here flexing on the gram? And the caption, which this picture don't have the caption. Let me look on my phone. Because the caption, I'm like, what? What is you doing, Bill? It says, I got a fresh cut for my birthday dinner tonight, in the words of James Brown. Quote, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman, girl, and Mrs. Camille Cosby, end quote. I don't know what all that's about. But Bill is wilding, y'all. I told y'all that I was expecting him to just sit in his recliner. Yo, Miss Della. Hey. Hey, Mary Blue, welcome back. Okay, Miss Della, you just gonna sit quiet. That's cool too.
I was trying to get the mute button off. Happy Wednesday.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, if you want to stay quiet and just sit on the stage, that's cool. Just make sure you know that donation is in check.
What?
Anyway, what do you think about old Bill Cosby up here flexing on the ground? Hello, friend.
So
he said.
Innocent. He looked so innocent.
He is on a whole PR campaign, or his PR person is working the room. That's what I think.
He looked like an old grandpapa. Innocent.
A great, yeah. He about to be an ancestor in a minute. He needs to chill. Bill, don't do this. Don't do this, Bill. Tony, the critical thinker, is here. Welcome back. Yeah. Go. All right. So, yeah, I had to start off with that. I saw that today. I said, I can't wait till Saturday to get into old Bill. Saturday is going to be packed full of it's a lot going on, a lot outside of R. Kelly. But tonight, we here for this right here. All right. Let me get it together over here now. I need my little, hold on. I need my vibe. My vibe is still feeling like I'm at work right now. All right. So I don't know if you guys know that there's been let me get my volume together. All right. Whew. All right. Let me get it together. Let me get on to Robert Sylvester Kelly, the man, the monster. The man, the myth, excuse me. There have been some events since we were last here. Most recently, it's said that Greg Landfair Sr., father of Rashana Landfair, passed away. For those of you who are confused about the connection, Rashana Landfair is the alleged minor who starred in the infamous sex tape with R. Kelly, the one at the center of his 2008 child pornography trial. She denied it. She denied that it was her on the tape. Her parents did also, Greg obviously being one of them. But this most recent grand jury for this particular, or for the Chicago case, actually, they're in the Chicago indictments, I think state and federal, and they are, they testified to the grand jury that they lied in the previous grand jury for the 2008 trial. So his testimony, was anticipated, and so his death being right before the trial is an eyebrow raiser, wouldn't you say? Let me look in the chat. I know there's a little bit of delay too.
Wait a minute. Say that last part again. His what?
What did I say?
What? Did you say death?
Basically, yeah, he passed away.
The father?
Rashana Landfair's father. Well, look, honestly, I Googled it. I got it from, so a YouTuber announced it, then another YouTuber announced it, and I'm like Googling, looking for the information. I didn't find anything. I even searched YouTube. I did find something on someone's community page saying, that they woke up to the news, and I did see also some people in someone else's chat confirming, this person knows them. I was at the house. So without any concrete confirmation of this, I would say maybe at this point it could be a rumor. I don't know. I don't have facts on it. People are saying it like it's facts, but I haven't seen anything concrete since I last looked earlier. This internet moves real fast. So if anybody knows anything different, let me know. Okay, Tony said, let me get these comments up here. Okay, you found it on Lipstick Alley. They got it from Facebook. Okay. Was it one of them crazy Facebook groups dedicated to the man? It doesn't matter because, well, as far as I know, did they say what the cause of death was? Because as far as I know, that was still not public, or at least, I don't know, if it was not known or not public, but it wasn't being said. So I think that's what the big question is at this point. Because it is suspicious. Somebody else said it was suspicious. Yeah, Thomas Reese. I agree. Because listen, Greg Landfair didn't have an easy time from the 2002 indictment through the trial. This man, his daughter was at the center of this. He reportedly watched the tape in the judge's chamber, or maybe the attorney's office, and denied it was her in tears. Imagine watching your daughter being violated by a grown man, your 12, 13-year-old daughter, and you're watching it on the videotape, and you're in the center of a huge controversy, public, with your daughter in the middle of it. And
he chose.
What was that? He chose
money over his child.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah, because then you see him here playing his guitar, his bass guitar, whatever. They say that R. Kelly employed this man. He toured the world with R. Kelly, following all of this. I heard also he got his ass whooped because he was, to keep him in check. Maybe he threatened, maybe he couldn't take it, and he was telling them he was going to tell. I don't know. It's a long, it is suspicious. It's so close to trial. We can't have prime witnesses dropping off like flies. Like what? Let me see something. I have an article here. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, so I came across this article. There it is. So apparently this reporter I think he worked for Blender magazine, and he covered the trial, and it looks like the article is on his website because it's no longer available. A lot of these articles that were written at that time that have like some real tea, those things are gone. They're still in if you Google certain things, you'll see the article and you'll be able to read maybe 2 or 3 lines of it. But once you click it, it's an error message or it's gone. So it's clear to me that they had tried to clean the internet as much as they could on, things that would incriminate R. Kelly or make him look less than acquitted. So this article, wow, I'm gonna have to put the link. I forgot to do it, but I will put the link in the description because it's very long. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's some parts in here that I thought would be good to read to you guys. They start off talking about Lisa Van Allen. They talk about the opening statements. I mean, they have everything in quotes pretty much. Let me look for the part I want to read.
And while you're looking that up, Goddess, you did say that is true, that they already testified in front of the grand jury already, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So do you feel that is important due to his death, that it's already on record?
Yes. Of course. But
just verbalize
information of when this happened and what was the cause of it.
Right. Yeah. I'll be definitely, looking into it. If anybody knows, let us know, because I want to know what happened. Anything, what could have happened? Because he was in his 50s. Let me see. This article is crazy. It's funny how Geronda is recorded here in this article as being, and I think we knew this, but she and her friend were basically standing there, being groupies outside the courtroom. And they actually talked to them in this article. It's just weird. And now she's in the indictment. Okay. Well, the article is called R. Kelly Trapped in the Courtroom. And like I said, it starts out talking about Lisa Villain. Okay, I'm going to read just some of this because I lost the place about the father is in here. So I wanted to find that because somebody spoke about how he saw his daughter on that tape. But it starts off, Lisa Van Allen and her fiance, Yul Brown, were driving away from a Fogo de Chao in Atlanta when the hip hop station on their car broke for a news bulletin. Take your R. Kelly CDs out, the DJ crowed. He's been found not guilty. Brown pulled his BMW into the emergency lane. Damn, the jury had only taken a few hours to let him go on all 14 counts of child pornography. Van Allen had flown up to Chicago, 4 months pregnant, and told her truth about R. Kelly, how he seduced her when she was just 17, how he forced her to participate in a threesome with a girl who appeared on the sex tape, how he taped that little orgy. And the jury hadn't believed a word. They believed Kelly's lawyers, who called Van Allen a streetwalker and quoted the Bible to compare her to Satan. He goes into a lot more detail about her and then goes into Sparkle. I'm looking for give me a second, because I'm looking for the part about the dad. They actually also timestamp in here when the jury had to watch the tape. Now, they pretty much said that the jury members, they had to watch this thing over and over and over again. And I know they were sickened by it. But this article kind of gives you some details, like the looks on the jurors' faces and like stuff like that. Rhonda, let me see. Talks about, Sparkle being the family member. So there were 4 family members who said it was her and like 4 or 5 who said it wasn't, including the parents. And then there were 14 separate witnesses, friends, associates who said, yeah, that's her. But okay. I'm gonna move on because now I'm getting frustrated. I don't know why I left the spot I was at. The reason I left the spot because I was reading about how they partied afterward. This reporter was actually at the rap party. He called it a rap party after the trial was over. It's interesting that he called it a rap party because I always said that it sounds like a staged event, the way that it's described. And a rap party is what they call those parties after they wrap a TV show, filming or a movie. Okay, I'm going to read this little part. This is interesting. So 14 witnesses identified R. Kelly and Rashonna Landfair on the sex tape. Sima Punky Jameson, Landfair's longtime friend, testified that she and Rashonna visited Kelly dozens of times at his gym, his studio, and his house. Lindsay Perryman, Kelly's former personal assistant, told of Landfair showing up at Kelly's house with an overnight bag. By way of rebuttal, the defense summoned 3 of Landfair's relatives. They all told the same story. Robert and Rashonna aren't on the tape. They stuck to it even when Balaker, the prosecutor, asked them to compare a photo of Landfair in a For the Cause video, that was her rap group or her singing group, with a photo of the sex tape girl. The portraits looked identical. Turned up nose, chubby cheeks and chin, hair cut over the ears. There's a quote, I don't recognize her. This is from Leroy Edwards Jr., Landfair's uncle and the For the Cause's manager. They're not the same. So he's the uncle who was managing her rap group. So clearly he was working with R. Kelly because R. Kelly is the one who put the group together. Or he was like back in the group, right? So the uncle said, nope, not her. So then the defense attorney, or the son, there's a father and son that worked with Jensen, who's the one who died. Sam Adam Jr. is the son. They said he was pretty vicious in the courtroom. Let me look over here and make sure y'all are still here. Okay. I'm just checking the chat. Make sure I'm not missing people and whatnot. Peace and serenity, welcome. We're waiting for the cause of death. If anybody knows, let us know. I might have to just do my own little summoning to find out. All right, so back to this. So Sam Adam Jr. was sent out to deliver Kelly's closing argument too. Unlike the gilded Jensen, Sam Jr. keeps it real on the South Side, working out of a basement with a mailbox missing the letter M. The final week of the trial, Sam Jr. was in an ebullient mood. Kelly often passed through the press row on his way to the defense table. A TV reporter was intrigued by the scent of his cologne, so she asked Sam Jr. for the brand. In quotes, urine, he said, then walked off cackling. This is his attorney now, telling the reporter that R. Kelly's cologne, the scent was urine. Like, these people just thought it was a joke, I guess. On closing day, Sam Jr. brought his wife to court. We're making a tape, he joked as he introduced her around, but she's legal. This man was a whole hoot. A whole fucking hoot. Excuse my language. All right. You there, Miss Della? You don't have to be on mute, boo.
I am here.
What you think about this attorney?
Look, I'm actually trying to find it too now.
You trying to find the article?
Yes.
Oh, well, it's okay. I can just pull it up on the screen, but I can send you the link also after.
Well, that's fine. But go ahead.
Let me put it.
I'm listening. No, you're good. You're doing good with the.
What you think about this lawyer saying that kind of stuff during the trial in the courtroom to the press, and introducing his wife around saying we're making a tape, but she's legal? Isn't that really saying that he's guilty?
Of course it is.
It says Sam Jr.'s closing argument was like a brilliant actor's autobiographical one-man show. It was histrionic, it was entertaining, and it took creative liberties with the story. He bellowed, he whispered, he quoted the Bible like a preacher and waved the flag like the grand marshal of a 4th of July parade. Sam Jr. insisted that Lindsey Perryman never saw Van Allen on tour, but didn't mention that they accompanied the singer on different tours. He misused a Bible verse about temptations. Quote, Satan will come disguised as an angel of light, to compare Van Allen to the devil. He insisted that Landfair couldn't be on the tape because any normal 13-year-old would have bragged to her friends about screwing a 31-year-old Grammy winner. Unbelievable. And her relatives would have broken Kelly's legs. And actually, they should have. I mean, it is hard to believe that these people stood by all this time, worked with this man, took little pennies from this man. Clearly, they didn't see no worth in her. But anyway, it goes on. It said in quote in parentheses, the singer, it should be noted, lives in a gated compound with bodyguards. He used to. Now he kind of still lives in a gated compound with bodyguards, I would say. Anyway, it says Kelly nodded approvingly throughout the speech. Oh, he was liking that speech, calling her the devil and all that. But Sam Jr. didn't need the facts, it says. He had the trial's most important piece of information, or missing information. Rashana Landfair had never appeared in court to affirm or recant her 6-year-old grand jury testimony when she'd sworn she wasn't on the tape. Quote, what evidence do you have that it isn't her? Sam Jr. asked the jury. You have Rashana Landfair. She was placed under oath at the age of 15 or 16. She saw that tape and said, it's not me. On the day the verdict came in, Kelly added an accessory to his tailor suit, a Carolina blue handkerchief billowing from the breast pocket like a flag marking his heart. The jury bell rang at 1:30. Kelly held hands with his lawyers, forming an expensively dressed prayer chain. At every not guilty, he whispered, "Thank you, Jesus." By the time he stood up to hug Jensen, the damp handkerchief was limp in his fingers. There was a triumphant walk down the R. Kelly ramp. Kelly patted his heart while hundreds of fans cheered and strutted. Oof, I bet you they were strutting. Women wagged their index fingers, declaring victory for Kelly and scolding his haters. Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if he was just let out all of a sudden, like Bill Cosby. They'd be over here like flies on shit. Anyway, it says there was a triumph. Oh no, where was I? His SUV had to weave around a woman who covered the trial for a German hip hop website and was unburdening herself of objectivity by leaping in the air and flinging open her jacket to reveal an R. Kelly t-shirt. Lord. So the whole time the German reporter had her little R. Kelly t-shirt on underneath, just in case. Geronda and Keonia met Kelly at his bus. Keonia brought her 2-year-old son, Robert. Finally, they got a hug. Well, she named her son Robert. Well, did she name her son after Robert? Did he already know her? R. Kelly got his name back, and Rashana never had to lose hers, Sam Adams said at a post-trial press conference. So he said she never had to lose her name by becoming that girl. That's interesting that he chose those words. Jensen's defeated counterpart, Shauna Bolliker, that failed prosecutor, said that if we do anything with this prosecution, we show the world how difficult child pornography is to prosecute. It takes the soul of a victim, the heart of a victim, and they often don't want to participate because of the humiliation. And that's so true, and it still rings true. But thankfully we're in a new age. I think there's a lot more confidence out there because of the way, of course, again, the Me Too movement, Time's Up, and all the different technologies that are out there to lend help when we need proof and things like that, But Sam Jr. says made his bones at the trial. The torch was passed to a new generation of lawyers who will get the phone call when a rich guy is caught with his pants down. But his closing argument hadn't won the day. It hadn't even been necessary. The defense hadn't been necessary, which may be why its case lasted only 2 days, as opposed to the prosecution's 7. R. Kelly's freedom was guaranteed before the trial ever started because Landfair wouldn't testify. So she was the key to the whole thing. And even at that time, when her parents were saying it wasn't her, they were still, if she had herself come forward, that would have been it. And I think the same rings true here. It doesn't matter that her father is no longer alive, if that is the case, for this trial, to see, or, for her truth to be able to be heard and believed this time. So, I was looking for his part. This is basically about to tell us about the party. I don't know if y'all are interested. They had an after party, honey. Party was popping. It says, they talk about the jurors, a couple of them. One says, quote, "Initially, I voted guilty because I thought it was R. Kelly on the tape." See, wasn't no question whether or not it was R. Kelly on the tape. Juror Bruce Hutcherson said afterward, I still think that what held me back was Rashana. If it wasn't 100% the way her childhood friends identified her, that played heavily on my thoughts. Another juror who asked not to be named said the absence of Rashana and her family was a major lack of evidence. Well, they did say and her family, but I think it would be understood if her father passed away, that he passed away, but he still told the truth on record beforehand. So this thing ends saying 5 days after the trial ended, most of its players reassembled at a Chicago tavern for a rap party thrown by Terry Sullivan, a former prosecutor who served as the judge's media liaison. Gone, which is the judge, was in the center of the room in a wide lapel suit with an American Legion pin. I feel like the reporter mentioned that American Legion pin for a reason. A wide lapel suit with an American Legion pin. The judge cracked jokes with a reporter he kicked out of his courtroom and hammed for a buddy shot with an NPR correspondent who posted the photo on her Facebook page. So they, fighting like it's World War II in the courtroom, but at this party, everybody's friends. It's like they were, like I said, at a staged event. It was already scripted and everybody knew their roles and their places and their lines. And here they are celebrating that they pulled it off. Sam Adam Jr. made his way to the bar for a free drink. Bolliker, the prosecutor, chatted with journalists, most of whom had predicted Kelly would go down. Everyone seemed relieved that the trial was finally over after 6 years. Missing, of course, was the man who brought all these people together. R. Kelly had thrown his own after party. You know he did. I know that after party was something to be seen, child.
I'm sure.
You probably would have wanted to be there back then. Back in the day. So, where am I at here? Oh, yeah, he threw his own after party at Grand Lux Cafe on Michigan Avenue. It says in parentheses, MTV Sway was there. He posed for a Be Strong handshake photo with Kelly and ran it on the Music Channel's website. I know Sway knows where all the bodies are buried. He probably got his own buried bodies. Wow. These days, he's trying to stay away from lawyers, is what this says. And this was from August. Let me scroll up. The date original first appeared. It says this article first appeared on August 21st, 2008. Isn't it a trip? August 21st. So around this same time as the trial is going to be going on. This was going on. This article was out in 2008. It's like a whole full circle. But yeah, I'm gonna copy this in there. So, because I know it's an interesting read. I'm telling you guys. I might even do it on the membership channel because I'm about to read Aaliyah's book. It's gonna be out on the 30th. And I'm going to be reading cards on the trial and R. Kelly. So if you're a member, you will be able to partake. Otherwise, you will not. Let me find my alive here so I can post this real quick. Okay, I don't have the patience. I'll do it afterwards, though, for real. You're welcome, Marcus. What's going on? Somebody said, hey, Queen Keish, where is she? Oh, there she is. How did he pass? Well, we don't know, Queen. We don't know. I don't know, at least. If y'all have heard this from somebody else who might have gone live since earlier, let me know. I should have brought my cards and we asked the cards, what happened? Foul play or not? Because it's crazy. But, it's also a shame that he was not able, before he died, to come clean about the lies before the before the grand stage, this final thing, this trial. And basically, again, tell that about the first time around and how he was lying. Oh, beautiful spirit.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I just had to hop on real fast. I'll probably be jumping on and off. I probably sound terrible, y'all.
You sound fine, actually.
I wanted to point out, I'll be paying attention to some things. It might be weird to some people, but the dates and the month of this trial, the first trial, and also the same week that he had the marriage done with Aaliyah, and also of her early demise was the same week. I just wanted to point that out.
In August, in August. You
Yes,
know, I
the
think
date, the 24th and the 25th.
the trial was in May, wasn't
Okay.
it? I
Yeah.
thought when I looked up what the trial dates were, original trial dates, I think it was in May, but maybe because of the sentencing and stuff, everything kind of dragged out through the summer. But it's still I think it's still a valid point. I think I mentioned that the dates, isn't that weird how the dates coincide?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So what do you think about his passing and us not knowing why he passed? And really, I haven't seen anything official. So if anybody knows where the official announcement of his death is, or where we get some details, send it to me as soon as you see it.
I don't know. It's kind of like bizarre, shocking. Of course, it makes it questionable to me whether it was maybe stress or whatever, just because the trial is coming up with all the other haywire things and behavior and things that's been going on,
Right.
that's surrounding this whole case this
Yeah.
time. Like, we done had people actually try to do harm to the victims and the witnesses. You know, let's not forget that. We done
We
had
can't.
people. I mean, people don't understand that the family and the survivors, and I'm gonna say survivors, not victims. They survived this. They're standing up, so they survived. If the stress, even from the harassment and intimidation, that's stress. That's stress. I mean, it's just so much a person can take. I mean, I can only imagine if it's true. If it's true, because we know it's been known that people have been able to put out false funerals, a whole obituary on people nowadays.
Right. Because we don't know,
But,
he might be in hiding somewhere again. This could be a whole.
But you know, it's sad all the way around. I still cannot wrap my mind around the decision as a parent that him and his wife, the mother, made back in the day to protect this man, knowing what he. Okay, even if they were so naive and so in the fog and the dark, they didn't have no kind of intuitions that something hanky panky was going on with their child.
They
But
saw
once
that
they,
tape.
yeah, I know,
They
but you know,
There ain't no way. There ain't no way.
but let's just play the ding dong role. They just didn't know
No,
until that day.
I think it was fear. I think it was fear. I
But
really think they were put into a position, just like Aaliyah's mom. Like, I always thought, like, how could she just be quiet all this time? But I really do feel like
yeah,
that they were in fear for their lives.
But I wouldn't have stayed working for him.
Again, fear. I'm just saying.
My parents would have died for me, and they have put their life on the line and behind me to see
Not
it come
everybody
through
like that.
for their daughter.
Everybody ain't built like that. It's a shame to say, but everybody ain't. So, yeah,
But
I
it
mean,
makes you think, like, all of the parents, because that's a lot of people to keep up with at the same time. This man, and eventually over the years, his entourage of people died down as far as the people staying employed to do his dirty work. He didn't keep, I don't think he had the same amount of people like he did the first time, as far as his crew. I think they fell off one by one over the years. I don't think, the only reason why I say that is because I think after a while the record label wasn't saving his ass as much as they was before, and they eventually cut him off. So he didn't have that knee deep, rabbit hole deep of protection, you know, of a leader people. But that's just my opinion.
Well, we know that to be true. The record labels ain't
Yeah.
showing. He ain't even with no record label.
They played a big major role of how he
Yeah,
got
they
away
were
with it.
at the trial. They were
If
literally
it wasn't for that record label, baby, R. Kelly would have never been able to have. He wouldn't have never been able to get past the first child that he violated. He wouldn't have got away with it.
You know, I was listening to this video. Actually, Let me pull that up. So I think I have that up too. There's a video of was that the one you sent me? The guy who was like he was sorry he didn't say nothing because he could have saved some.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find that real quick.
And we did some digging, y'all. We found some stuff about Barry Hankerson, right? And
Oh yeah.
see, we can't nobody be excluded because see, we trying to figure out. He learned a lot of ways from other people. First, Mr. Kelly. I don't know if he learned it before Hankerson or Demetrius Smith or before him, but Hankerson got the same mentality. He liked to blow up cars. He liked to intimidate and harass people. He liked to send out threats. He liked to make up fake dummy accounts and use the internet. And he also liked to play on phones and stuff like, from what has been alleged that R. Kelly have done before, answering the phone like a little girl or whatever. And said, "Oh no, he's not here," and it's him the whole time. He's known for doing that stuff.
So it sounds like R. Kelly might have learned some of his plays from Barry Hankerson's playbook.
I believe so because Barry Hankerson is a bad actor. Now that we know now, we didn't know it before. He been a bad actor, and his sons too. Y'all know his sons called the RICO Act and the racketeering too as well. 2016, Jomo for sure.
Yeah, that right there was shocking to me.
Yeah.
So Barry Hankerson has two sons, right? And I think are both of them with Gladys or just one?
I'm not 100%. I can't remember 100% correctly.
I know that one of them from Gladys Knight.
Yeah, I want to believe one is hers and one is not.
And he is supposedly a bad seed.
Yes.
What happened with her restaurant? They had a restaurant and it got robbed.
He her name on one of them because they had two. She had to clear her name.
He was doing stuff in her name like Miss Robbie and her son, if y'all remember.
They forged the names, y'all. Oh, they were selling drugs and trafficking out of one of the restaurants and also not paying their workers. That's probably how they got outed when they stopped paying the workers. And they found forged documents and stuff. And it just, it makes you think, even with the Aaliyah marriage, forged signatures and false identifications and everything.
Well, it sounds to me so both the sons are in jail, you said, right?
I don't know if they got released, but I know they had the Jomo had got sentenced in 2016, if I remember correctly.
And that was the one who was linked to sex trafficking. He had sex trafficking charges, or if he had
the trafficking, the racketeering and the RICO. He had them there similar to R. Kelly's, just wasn't,
okay.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting because to me, that's a clear link to
yes, it is
trafficking, like a ring or something. Because if Barry Hankerson, even though that was, back then,
yes,
Barry Hankerson has not. Where is he? He been quiet. We haven't seen nothing from him. I feel like he's obviously protected. He's connected and protected. I'll just say that. But for his sons to be locked up for under RICO for sex trafficking, that is eyebrow raising also. Yeah. Along with this. Okay. Because Barry Hankerson, like you said, he is no joke and he will do whatever it takes to, get what he wants.
He had an ex-girlfriend that was she owned a beauty salon in Los Angeles. She was with him, I think, 3 years, broke up with him. He threatened and stalked her, harassed her, blew up her car. She won a lawsuit against him for over $4 million. He hasn't paid a dime yet. I don't know why he got locked up when he was proving that, he was in behind him or whatever. But like you said, connected and protected.
You said it was proven.
It said that it didn't say alleged. It said that he was the one that had the car blown up. And I want to say, he had forged documents, I guess to buy and take over her beauty salon. it was like trying to do all sorts of things as payback. I don't know if it was because she left him or what it was about,
So
but
he did all of that, and he never went to jail, never got arrested or indicted or nothing.
I didn't see, never found anything saying that he was incarcerated, just nothing but a lawsuit and that she won and he hasn't paid a dime. They said that he was the one that disguised his voice with Drake, the artist, when he gave
Kim,
Drake permission.
take over for me real quick. I gotta mute you real quick.
Okay. When Drake had, I don't know if anybody remember when Drake got a lot of backlash for remaking one of Aaliyah's songs, and he said he had got permission from a family member from Aaliyah, and he said he believed it was the uncle, and they didn't believe him. He got a lot of backlash from it. Well, come to find out with research, they said Barry Hankerson and his son was in behind that, setting up a fake Twitter account and stuff. Alleged he disguised his voice over the phone, saying that he was, I guess somebody else that was related to Miss Leah, and gave him permission. But that's why a lot of her whole estates and everything else is still in legal battle. Is in behind Hankerson. And it makes me question now, when the city took her death really hard in Detroit. If anybody in Detroit, they in the chat know that what I'm talking about. We blamed her mother for her for her death in R. Kelly. Now I know listening from the OGs in the streets is a ticket on their head. Now, since the house, the nice, beautiful home, y'all, the brick home that they had on the east side. I'm from the east side. But the house got blown up. Okay, so the house got blown up. I don't know if the streets blew the house up, or now that we know that Hankerson liked to blow things up, was he the one that blew it up? Because, and why I say that, now it makes me wonder, did her mom go in hiding from him? Did he threaten and harass her so she wouldn't, out him and tell on him? Because we thought that she went in hiding because she was guilty of knowing what this man did to her child, far as when she was involved with R. Kelly and introduced, she was 12 years old when she was introduced to him. And that's in one of the links of the article that God Is Down would drop, if she hasn't dropped it already, that y'all would see that was confirmed. She was 12 when she got introduced to him. And also with the video that I sent her with one of the security guards that and her chaperone that she had at the time. But it just, now it's all questionable. It's just all questionable. Put this down. But I greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. I've been feeling just a slight bit under the weather, but I'm coming around and not giving into it, We've been thunderstorming a lot out here. Like today making day 4 in Vegas. I don't know where it came from, y'all. But yeah, even the man in this video, y'all will hear it. He said how Hankerson had everybody fooled. We didn't hear Hankerson name in Detroit streets back in the day. We didn't. He was like out of sight, out of mind, y'all.
He needs to be on the stand this time around, or in
I'm
cuffs.
praying that he will be on that front line, baby.
Yeah, we need to hear from him.
Yeah, didn't they say in the docuseries part 2, when they interviewed Bivens and them, the engineers and everybody, when they said Hankerson was the one that flew 3 guys out to Chicago to try to clean up the streets of the tape, and they said that Hankerson would tell R. Kelly sometimes that, oh yeah, this was gonna cost you such and such, this how much this gonna cost, and he wouldn't even be nobody accused, trying to blackmail him, and they would split the money. And Hankerson, it was never nobody that was extorting R. Kelly. He was just making it up just to get money.
Probably so. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
I think I've seen that on the Lifetime, the part 2. I believe so. Yeah. it was I can't remember. I wrote the man's name down. It was a black guy because he said he was one of the people that Hankerson flew out there, and he said how they would split the money, 50,000 or something like that sometimes. And he said it wouldn't be nobody trying to threaten to get no money. He said Hankerson would just be making that up, but it was that easy to get money out of R. Kelly.
Wow. I believe that.
Yeah.
I definitely do. That's crazy. His whole life, I mean, if we could get the truth out of him, it would be, real interesting to know all the nuances. But look, back to the daddy here, Rashana's dad, the one who let her down, the one who failed her. He can actually do good from where he's at. And hopefully for his soul's sake, he does. You know what I'm saying? Because to go to die with that, this thing is still not cleared up. Even though he did do they say he was on the stand for the grand jury, but like he had to see this through.
Right. The more information I guess will come to light eventually.
Yeah. Time will tell. I think Aisha said she saw it on Facebook about the dad. So if y'all again, I'm gonna keep saying we need to know what happened. How did he pass? He was in his 50s, like 56 or something like that. Which actually says that he wasn't that much older than R. Kelly.
Okay. Boom, boom.
Kelly was doing that when the tape happened and all that. He was basically a couple years older than R. Kelly himself.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Miss Della, are you here?
Miss Della just likes to sit on the couch. We call her the judge. She's sitting there behind the podium.
It's called perching.
She's perching. It's okay.
I can hear Kim, you're doing a great job. You're doing keep it going. I have the man sold his daughter, whatever the hell he did. He knew that was his child.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he did.
I'm pretty sure hopefully more will come out about his death. But again, I believe he did already testify. I think he did. Her, not sure if the mother did as well. Testified to the grand jury. So, by him passing this, yes, it's a sad situation, but maybe they don't need him anyway.
Yeah, now since the people want to say who sold their child, or that's somebody that literally sold their child. Now that's who they could go after and say sold their child.
Hazel said Louis Farrakhan said that Barry wanted to kill R. Kelly and that he had to talk him out of it. I mean, this man, he should have been in jail a long time ago.
He probably did want to kill. I don't know. It definitely didn't have nothing to do with what he did to his niece. It probably had something to do with maybe he wasn't getting no more money no more or something. I don't know. Ain't no telling. But yeah, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling, guys.
Can you imagine if Barry Hankerson was the type of dude to do all that stuff you said? Say that again. What he was good for doing? Give us the rundown.
Threatening and harassing, sending his goons to stalk if he didn't do it himself. Disguising his voice on phone calls. They already found out about the fake dummy accounts on Twitter and stuff that he had, especially when he was releasing music of Aaliyah. We thought that Aaliyah's mom had her, the masters. When they said that was the deal or whatever, and the $3 million. Now that we know that Hankerson that's why all her states and everything is in legal battle still. Is because of Hankerson. Well, it made me think that Hankerson, he the one got the masters. And not only that, he must have just threw her mama a $3 million to here. And how is, that's like, who are you? Who the hell you think you is, sir? You running around taking over stuff of people, are you crazy? I don't know how he sleep at night.
Hey, Kim,
Yes.
Sam Cook wants to know, Kim, what proof do you have to support your statement?
You can Google it, but we got the article. You just dropped the link. Don't if you read, you'll have it. You look at his whole his whole biography. It brings it up, and it starts with this photo.
Sam Cook, for the person to have adopted the name
And
Sam
see,
Cook says
this girl
wait,
said it's a video.
what? Wait, to the person who's adopting the name of Sam Cook, you done already told us what side you on by choosing. Sam Cook had the same. I don't know Sam Cook's whole story, but I know he had the same allegations. We're relying on media. Yeah, is that what you're doing, beautiful spirit? Are you relying on media?
No, I'm not relying on no media.
Oh, what proof do you have that is not true? That's what I want to know.
And since they're a Barry Hankerson supporter, you ain't no telling who the hell this is. But you're gonna be respectful of God is Don channel. That's what I do know. And trying to come after me, I'm the last and the right one that you want to come for. I got time today.
It's all right. All they're doing is asking questions. As long as they're not, you get disrespectful.
I never came up here and spoke on nothing that I ain't never cross-referenced 1,000 times, whether it's reading a book, going to see some old interviews, unlike some other people don't even say they ain't got to read a damn thing, but we all know why they don't read a damn thing, and let alone pay attention to key words and fact and court documents and paperwork that's in black and white. That's what we be going off. We go off of facts. I guess somebody got to do some mess in their face, grab their hand and say, "Hey, this me doing a crime right here. Just want to let you know, so you know it's true. Touch me. I'm doing it right now in front of your eyes."
She's ready for you. She's ready.
Hold on for a second. So Sam Cook, you want to know that did the parents not take payments? Why not call the law, file police reports? How do you know that didn't happen? And what parents is supposed to took payments? Did the parents not take payments? So what?
Well, the Landfair'S did take. Well, I'm hoping we're talking about the Landfair'S, not no other parents. I'm talking about Greg and Valerie Landfair.
Yes, that's what you're talking about.
Now they got paid off. That's what this whole thing is about. They have they have checks and everything to prove this.
And Sam Cook, did you see the video? Because I saw that horrible video. A grown man with a child. Did you see that? Did you see that, Sam Cook? I mean,
yeah. What did the parents take payments for? What were the payments for, Sam Cook? They might have taken payments, but what are the payments for? We got to start with that. You got to start at the root of the problem.
Thank you, Hazel E. I agree with you, Hazel E. That's why he in trouble now. They have found old police reports and police records and also lawsuits and paperwork filed. That's why the whole Chicago, Illinois is under federal investigation.
Should nobody be over here who don't know that? Now we know we've gone over all of this before. The police, as a matter of fact, that article, I put the link in the description of that article, by the way, that I was reading from. That article does mention police reports and stuff like that.
Hold on, I think she's saying, or he's saying, JP, is that Geronda Pace and Rashonda Landfield that they took payments?
Well, Geronda got a couple of girls got paid off. Yeah. But so what is he paying for? What is he paying for? That is, see, you got the cart before the horse. You got the cart before the horse. Okay. You mad at him for taking the money, but what's the money for? That's the problem. It was the law was broken.
And what police reports? That's why they was paid and got and was able to get NDAs. They was paid for something. You just not gonna just out of the kindness of your heart to say here's $5,000 every month.
I'm gonna say this: there are police reports, and you will find out when the trial happened. There are actual police officers, former police officers, who are testifying, and there were police reports filed that weren't acted upon. So you need to know that, and you will see. Don't ask us; we're not in the courtroom. The trial is about to happen, though. So tune in. Tune the fuck in. So, and she said, yeah, Geronda showed her document. She wrote a whole book and detailed all kind of stuff, even how his friend Bubba, Chris, what's his friend's name again? I forgot, that went by Bubba.
I forgot his real name.
Went and siphoned off some of that money after the fact by hanging with her and having sex with her too. He should be in jail too.
Exactly.
I know he gonna testify because him and Will, Edie, and matter of fact, Keith was mentioned in this article, being all involved in handoffs and payoffs.
Yes.
And from the reporter, he wrote this firsthand.
Yep.
So,
and then not only that.
All right, we're not calling nobody prostitutes over here, though. We don't do that. So
no,
we don't do that. You want to come back?
NDA ain't go uphold when you're a child or a minor. NDA do not uphold when you're underage.
They don't uphold when you are committing a crime either at all. Crimes.
And that's the most dumbest thing that he ever could have thought of, as far as R. Kelly. You know, that.
Queen Keish. I'm wondering why JP only got paid. The other girls, other girls did get paid.
Yeah, there were other got paid.
Susan Loggins, the attorney, made sure whoever the inside person was on his side of things was taking these girls to Susan Loggins and getting a cut. That's what was going on.
Yeah, because
if you didn't do anything, why are you paying out money? And so you're saying,
and why
12 and a 13-year-old is a paid prostitute. Really? Okay. Time for you to go. You need to get off the channel now.
Well, I already I kicked them out for a minute. So if you want to come back and not get blocked altogether and be in a conversation like a grown person without calling children who were taken advantage of, violated by a grown man, a prostitute. Like, what world is this?
It's the truth hurt. That's all. The truth hurt.
Listen, I'm going to play some of this audio from Herschel Muhammad. Yeah. And the title, I'm not going to show the video. I'm going to just play the audio, but it says Herschel Muhammad, Aaliyah ran to Miami to be with R. Kelly long before her album was released. So she was even younger than what we even thought when he was messing around with her. Okay, here we go.
The Frank Nitty, who was a part of the Earl Flynn gang. His real name is Francis Cunningham. Okay. And so you had the three different eras of the Nitties here. I knew all three of them. Right.
You were so. Can you hear that okay? Does it sound?
I can.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Fluent in the way that you announced these guys. Were these like classmates or did you, I mean, like, give me
all of them personal friends, very close friends. Very close friends. Like I said, I never sold dope or drugs or anything like that. I was a hitter. Right. I did my job in strictly business. And when you do your job and it's strictly business, well, now you look at it that way. You don't look at it as in terms of good or bad or evil. You just look at it as a business.
Oh, I'm at the wrong timestamp. Hold on.
Most people that was in my shoes, we tried to use that as an excuse for the reason why we did. Right. Well, I did.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to the right timestamp. My bad. Okay, he's in a boxing gym or something. That's why all that noise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
They was over here cussing and they got arrested and all of that.
Yeah, it was a big thing over there. I'm down on 4th Street. Okay. He come in, Ice Cube come in, he say, y'all say, fuck you, Ice Cube, fuck you, Ice Cube. You know, he doing that. And he really got it going on. Right. And, we became friends that day. It was cool.
Okay, let's speed up to you meeting the Hankersons.
Okay.
And Aaliyah becoming an artist. So tell me first, your first encounter with Barry Hankerson. Who knew Barry Hankerson?
I knew Barry Hankerson way back in the early 70s. Barry Hankerson was married to a school teacher. Her name was, I can't forget her first name. She passed away. He had a son by her named Jamo Akers. Jamo was on the road. He's Leah's first cousin. And he came here and he married her. She was a school teacher. She was the principal of Central High School. He married her, and our great mayor, Coleman Young, he made Barry Hankerson the first and only assistant deputy mayor under Coleman Young in all of his 20 years in office. He thought a lot of Barry Hankerson, and I did too. We all thought a lot of Barry Hankerson back then. He was a very good talker. He was a person that could bring people together. He brought a lot of people together. I didn't find out the depth of his destruction until later on in life.
The depth of his destruction. And he definitely was responsible for bringing people together. Unfortunately, the wrong people, because if not for him, Miss Leah might still even be here today. We might not even, you never know.
Yes.
Leah's last name is Houghton.
Houghton. Haughton.
Give me your earliest recollection of meeting the Houghton family.
A lot of people were dying on the streets of Detroit in 88, I think it was 88. A lot of people were dying on the streets of Detroit in the winter of 88. And Coleman Young was getting a lot of negative publicity. What he did, he called Operation Get Down. That was the organization that Barry Henderson and Bernard Parker found together. Operation Get Down. It's a non-profit organization that helps. It's a beautiful organization that helps with tutoring, after school program, child literacy, adult pregnancy. Diane Houghton, who is Barry Henderson's sister, she was running the program, giving out the baskets on a daily basis for the kids and the families.
So that's Aaliyah's mom. So he's basically saying how charitable these people have been and were at the time, at least in the community. And that always interested me to know that people typically who you find in headlines involved in some just scandalous shit, they have always had a background of being some type of pillar in the community of some sort. Mm-hmm. I always felt people hide behind that.
Right.
My very first recollection with Barry Henderson was a beautiful man. Even when he married Gladys Knight, just a beautiful man, very talkative person. He had a gift of gab, Brooklyn style.
Right. All right. So, Aaliyah came here, not this actual facility, but another location for fitness training. What did she come for? What practice were you offering? What service were you offering back then?
We were offering stick boxing training. We were offering Muay Thai. But basically, she stuck with stick boxing, and her form was good. Her form was very good.
So those defined abs that she later showed throughout her career was early activity, early fitness activity.
I would definitely like to think that we had played a part in doing something.
Is this reporter really bringing up Aaliyah's abs? Are we talking about this woman and her abs?
Yeah.
With that, I don't know if it was her being little or not. Was the person little just have natural abs like that?
Right.
We definitely worked her out. As my cousin was telling me.
Right. When did y'all discover, or when did the singing part come, or when did she stop coming to training and start becoming an actual performer?
Well, actually, what happened was that a lot of people don't know this. R. Kelly was initially discovered by a guy named Demetrius Smith. He wrote the book called The Man Behind the Man. And I back up everything in Demetrius Smith's book. It comes from R. Kelly's camp. Demetrius Smith's sister was married to Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges played basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks. R. Kelly could have been started, but just to get to the simple part of it, Craig Hodges came home and caught R. Kelly in the bed with his wife.
Okay, so this is the lady who said he had crabs, wasn't it?
Yes, Miss Carlita Hodges.
Carlita Hodges.
Yep.
Husband Craig Hodges. It's funny because Kwame Brown mentioned Craig Hodges the other day on his live.
And interviewed him too.
Oh, he did.
He had him when he first. I think you had sent it to me. They just talked about basketball, and And when you want to be independent, like have your own beliefs, like you don't want to be joining those elite people, you're a target or whatever. They said it happens in with athletes, but they never. That's what Craig Hodges had mentioned about when they were losing their home. It confirmed what Miss Carlita said. I guess when they was going through their separation and they wanted to save the home, and I think they asked R. Kelly for 5,000, or it might have been more, not too much more than that. And he made it seem like, oh no, he didn't have it. People owe him money, and he had the money. But they fronted him 30,000 when they was allegedly invested in him on the strength of Demetrius Smith as like being his manager and stuff, managing him. And he never paid a dime of that back, never showed appreciation or gratitude or nothing.
And that's his MO, from what I can tell, just by doing my little research over these 2 years. He has an MO for not paying paying his bill, really paying people he owes, and basically expecting people just to be happy to be there.
Because they wanted to introduce him to Franklin and Beverly first. That's what they both said. And he said, nah, they're boring. He never wanted, like, very disrespectful. They was like, you say that about Frankie and Beverly? Like, how you say something like that? And so then they seen the arrogance of how he was then. They seen that first sign of his personality of R. Kelly. But
yeah, playing this.
That's a ball buster.
Okay.
They called him a ball buster.
The musical part. R. Kelly arriving in Detroit.
When R. Kelly arrived in Detroit, I brought him here for basketball. And we would shoot ball at the gym. They loved McDonald's. He would shoot ball at the gym. And the boy I would take him to one of our gyms, and he played like Michael Jordan. The boy got game.
He said he loved him some McDonald's. That McDonald's sure does come up in a lot of his stories, don't it?
I know. McDonald's. Hey.
It don't matter. And this whole thing is a clown show. Just like Ronald McDonald's running the gang here.
Okay. That's why I can't see him being so weak in jail.
Oh, because of the aggression showed on the basketball court?
Yeah. You know how his brother did. Mostly every fight after that, the two was on the basketball court.
Yeah, a lot of them start there.
And I just can't see how he was so weak. I just wish that we would have exposed our guy.
It was a 2-year period, let's say, before the actual album AJ Number came out. AJ Nothing But a Number came out. How much time did R. Kelly spend here in Detroit?
He was here off and on, sometimes every week. And we stayed at the Horton's house for a period of time when they stayed over in Sherwood Forest.
Okay. So when did you actively, because she wasn't famous during the recording process, she was just a lead.
Right.
Okay. When did the records and the actual them spending time together or her traveling to Chicago, what year did that occur?
She traveled to Chicago and making a back and forth album. We're looking at my wife was the chaperone for her on the back.
His wife was her chaperone during the back and forth album. His wife is also to blame here.
And so she was out there with her for almost 6 months. And what happened was that my wife, being from the Nation of Islam, she seen R. Kelly do something bad, disrespectful to Aaliyah. And what she did, she reported it to me. I reported it to Mike. And this was when the problem started with me and Mike. I'm a man of high moral caliber. I love Michael Horton. I love Diane. I love Aaliyah. I love Rashad. I don't care for Barry. Me and him got a thing to settle if I ever see him. But
when you said he did something disrespectful to her,
my wife was looking through the keyhole. You see her, had her on the butt. Yeah, she was 14 at the time.
And
so his wife, who was chaperoning Aaliyah, looked through the keyhole Why she had to look through the keyhole as a chaperone is beyond me. But she was looking through the keyhole and saw him pat her on her butt at 14. And I guess obviously the tone of that, she knew something was up. And she called him. He called Pops. Pops kept it under wraps. I think he says that next. Damn.
And that was that the first encounter or first time people noticing anything inappropriate between the two? How old was he when this happened?
He had to be about what? 26, 27.
He's 27 and she's 14. And your wife seen it?
No, my wife seen it.
Were you with security at the time?
I hadn't became security. Me and Mike was still running the homeless shelter there.
Okay.
My wife was out making the album with her, and what had happened after all this explosion, big explosion happened. Aaliyah, one day she had ran away from home. We didn't know where she was at. That's when I brought in all my security team. We went to Mike's house on Woodingham. We sat there in Woodingham with me, my cousin, Kalinde, Sekou, and all the martial artists of Detroit. Barry Henderson was upstairs. They was telling us to do what we have to do to keep her protected. What we were trying to do was see what was the cause. Come to find out, Leah had a secret phone in the house. Robert was calling her, telling her what to do. She left in the middle of the night, ended up in Miami.
Okay. Slick ass. So she had a secret phone.
Yep.
So Leah had a secret phone at 14 years old that obviously R. Kelly gave her.
Yep.
He was calling her throughout the night, telling her what to do. Pack your bag, go here, go there. And she ended up in Miami.
And Hankerson hiding out upstairs while the family meeting is to get together to go find the baby. I wonder what Hankerson was doing up upstairs. Was he getting rid of the phone or something? Or what was he doing?
Well, it sounded like he was also wondering where she was. Like he sounded, well, from what I had got, I thought he just also was in the dark. At least he was acting like it. Yeah. I don't know. But it sounded like that was like a whole Romeo and Juliet. They tried to play out that whole secret lover, young, that whole thing. Yeah. He was a pedophile. Let's see.
Yeah.
This is before she was famous.
Before she ever became famous.
So this is before we even knew. And I'm gonna share the screen at this point because they've been showing pictures and stuff. That's crazy. So before, how young she is. Before she even came out, before we even knew who she was, he was already defiling her at that point.
Yeah.
People want to ask for proof and receipts. I'm gonna tell you, people's firsthand witnessing of things is receipts and proof, and they're coming out and talking. There's been more like little YouTube interviews this recently, and I'm sure more are going to come out even after the trial. Probably people feeling like, okay, I can talk now.
Right. Especially they feel safe.
Exactly. So, well, if you guys heard, the guy said his wife was supposed to be her chaperone at the time. So
wait
those
till you listen what you hear, what R. Kelly did to the wife. Watch this.
Okay, let me take it off the screen though, because I don't want to play it and have it possibly get me a strike. But let me pull up
the words sound very familiar that we have heard before that he didn't had, that said. You'll see.
Okay, yeah, there's only a few minutes of this left. So.
Yep, that's it.
We could expose that man, and none of them girls. That's when I feel bad. One of the reasons I feel bad personally, I take off my glasses and tell you this. I feel bad personally because I'm not a person that kisses tears. I don't speak on the dead in a bad way, but I do know that if we would have started out when she first was making that album, before she ever got famous, if we would have exposed that man then, sadly, I don't believe none of those other girls would have had to suffer. I
See, and that a lot of people could say this. And a lot of people failed these girls, Aaliyah and Rashana and Tiffany and everybody. Everybody was failed.
did not say nothing because I was Michael Horton's friend, his best friend at the time. And when he came to me and told me, don't tell Diane no matter what, because if I tell Diane, she'll call everything off.
And there was the decision from Aaliyah's father to move forward, despite the fact that he knows something fishy is going on with his daughter, his young daughter, and this grown man. There's the mistake. He didn't want to tell his, he kept it from the wife because he says she would have called it off. So that even makes me feel more so that she was more so in fear rather than trying to just hide just because she was embarrassed or whatever. I remember also the rumors about her sleeping with R. Kelly. I don't know if that's true or not, but remember we were talking about how R. Kelly he don't deal with people unless you got dirt on you. You gotta have some dirt on you for him to deal with you.
That's why I'm like, I just know from hearing local news that she slept with him, but I think she knew. She knew it too. It's just that she didn't know that what I tell you. I don't think she did.
I feel like she found out at some point, obviously. Yeah. I don't think she knew when the dad knew. The dad found out first.
Right.
This guy here says they were best friends at the time. Let's finish this out.
I didn't know what to think, but I never felt good with myself after that. And that's one of the reasons I'm giving this interview.
And this was the Miami incident?
Yeah.
What year was this Miami incident?
This was in, we talk about 92, something like about 92, 93.
So the beat before the album even came, it was known that there was an inappropriate relationship between the two.
92 or 93, 10 years before he was actually indicted the first time. 10 years.
Yep.
Man.
And it was put on the back burner for financial reasons.
Her father put it on the back burner. And what my wife me feel bad about, we honestly think that if we would have told Diane, she would have stopped.
Some about these fathers. There's some about these fathers. They want to, they choose, maybe it's the fact that the fathers, they have to, they assume responsibility of taking care of their families. Maybe they're failed fathers. They don't, they feel like, I need to, this is the only way I can come up. But it's really sad that you don't see the worth in your own child.
Yeah, and it is sad because for what I remember hearing discussions and everything in the neighborhood is her daddy didn't play that. Like he wouldn't have never went for that. Like it was a whole different, oh my God. The streets was full, baby.
I'm looking at the chat here. Hazel, see, I knew people had to be lying in the past when they said they didn't see anything inappropriate. I already knew about the secret phone. Oh, he good with these secret phones. And that's why people are coming out the woodwork. I think with this trial getting ready to happen and all these stories coming out and them hearing all this stuff, I know a lot of people are feeling guilty right now, especially they're in their older age now. He's in his 50s. They're probably in their 50s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, some of these people. And I'm sure they've lived with this stuff. And they, sometimes getting a weight off of you like that is freeing, I think these people are going to be coming out more and more. We're going to see more of these interviews. Hazel, like I said, I believe he first violated her when she was 12. I believe she was young, like 12 when this was going on. That's his age of choice, it seems.
Yeah.
Queen, there's no way RK getting charged with Aaliyah because her mom afraid to testify. I think they're using Aaliyah as to portray a pattern. Yeah. She is listed in the indictment, but I think it's more so to prove a pattern for him. Her mom and dad should not let Aaliyah with RK after she got caught at 14. Yeah, after that happened, that shit should have ended.
Yep.
And imagine the fact that maybe he would have got caught at that time and went to jail. But I think for him, he's sick. I don't think jail would have. I think he would have came out and still been doing it. Same thing has happened with the last trial. He got away with it, but he came home and he still kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom and dad didn't know until after the marriage and pregnancy. I don't believe he slept with her mother. Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, I don't know. I would hope not. Queen Keish, I don't think Aaliyah's mom is scared to testify. I think it's more so she doesn't want Aaliyah's image to be in a negative light. I don't know. I feel like she was threatened. And I think maybe also that's probably a part of it too, protecting Aaliyah and her legacy. But I also do feel she was in fear. At some point, they were threatened and intimidated.
Yeah.
And Barry Hankerson himself might have been threatening him, his own sister.
That's what I was thinking. Like, if she was gonna flip, is he the one who blew up her house? Is he the one that got her in hiding? You know?
Sam
Now
Cooke,
that we
yeah, you
know-
got Sam Cooke. Look, you trying to be funny. Sam Cooke got timed out for speaking facts. No, that's not why you got timed out. You were being disrespectful to these young girls. We're not calling nobody prostitutes up in here. You think you funny. It ain't funny. It ain't. It's just funny you trying to really just say that though. That was funny. All right. I believe her mother's still grieving. I agree with that. I'm sure her mother can't get away from grieving. How can you? And why won't they? Who's holding the music? The Barry Hankerson. I know there's a whole free Aaliyah, campaign because they're holding her music hostage. Like, I don't understand why they do that. Queen, yeah, he's just getting charged with bribe and official based on Demetrius testifying. Okay. Yeah, we need at least, if Demetrius passes away, if any more people die, we got a problem. We can't have all these people dropping off now. All right. So let's see, where we're going to talk about now. So let's see. Yeah, so when we last left off, we were on the Crimeline and we left off at the first docuseries. But before that, I want to update in case anybody is unaware, because I did put a video up. There was a little bit of activity between the lawyers a few days ago. It wasn't a big deal, but the reason I had to make a video is because, Sly Fox, infamous Sylvia over there, puts a whole video out saying a win for Robert, a win for Robert. It wasn't a win. Basically, what happened, his lawyers, his new lawyer, they went this weekend to go see him. They weren't allowed the time that they were quote unquote promised by the government in their response to the motion. They basically said from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. they can see them Monday through Friday and whatever. Well, seems the prison gave misinformation to the prosecution, which was passed on to the defense. As soon as they found out the information was incorrect, they said they emailed the defense right away, let them know what the actual hours of operation were for them, and make sure they book their appointments so they can get the full hours. But I guess they filed the status report to the judge like as soon as they were able to, and that to me just looks like a play to make the judge look like they're looking for sympathy and stuff. But they went ahead and filed the status report saying the government promised we could see him from 8 to 8, but we got cut off at this time. I think it was like 3:30 and, whatever. The government came back and let the judge know there's no need for an order. It was a miscommunication from the prison, but we straightened it out and they shouldn't have any issues moving forward. But the judge, I think before she even got the response, went ahead and gave the order. Because she don't want no problem. She wants them to see their client, as does the prosecution, I'm sure. We all want this to be a fair trial. Because I know personally, me following this thing all this time, I ain't trying to have nothing happen to where, mistrial or, whatever can happen to hang this thing up and possibly disrupt it. We don't want that. Fair trial. That's all we're looking for here. So it wasn't a big deal though, but for this woman to make a video and say, "Oh, there's a win. We got a win here," like gassing these people up, these supporters, I guess, because they be digging in their pockets. These supporters be dominating this money, and I guess the way to the pocket is the lie. Make them feel good about what's happening. Make them feel like if they don't come to your channel, they're not going to get no good news. But if they come to your channel, they're going to get good news, even if it's not. And that's some bullshit. But yeah, there's a video this video is short too, like 12 minutes, just summarizing that whole thing. But let me bring up Pacer updates for between the last time we were here and today. Who's missing? What happened, beautiful spirit? You dropped off? Oh, she left me. Yeah, Barry has his music. He did a lot of music artists dirty like that. Timbaland, Tony Braxton, and especially JoJo. What is the point of that, though? Don't you make money when you release the music? Or maybe he uses that as a ploy for some of his backhanded backroom stuff he's doing. Yeah. R. Kelly had the chaperone kept in a hotel room while he had Aaliyah to himself across the street in the studio, and then eventually fired after she reported what she saw. You didn't have to leave to tell us that. Wow. Okay. All right. So, and before I get to this Crimeline, which is, I guess, where we will end this, I want to bring up that I'm aware, you guys, most of you guys follow this stuff on YouTube with the other YouTubers. I know there was a whole thing with the private investigator, supposedly R. Kelly's private investigator versus Dana J. And of course, Sylvia was involved. It seems fishy on all parts to me. And I'll just say, in case anybody's in the complete dark about it. So there was this private investigator who has a YouTube channel. And I think Sylvia must have streamed it on her channel when he was, either he went live or he uploaded a video, basically calling Dana J out for using defense fund money to spend to pay off his what is that? Not student loan. He ain't got no damn student loan. Child support. He had like $15,000 of child support that he had paid in a lump sum. They said he took that from the defense fund money. That guy also said, what's his name? The cousin, Levi, that he's not the cousin. He came out, he said a lot of stuff, actually. He said a lot of stuff. He made it very apparent that he follows the YouTubers saga and all the stuff, because he brought up a couple of other people on YouTube. So I don't know. It's just messy. It's messy. I'm not even trying to unravel that and talk about it here, but you know, it has nothing to do with the case, though it may soon be a separate case. I'm just saying. I don't know why these people want to get so close to the edge when it comes to this case and the, you know, possibly ending up in an indictment. Like, it's not that serious. Maybe it is for them. I don't know. I think some of these people could be on the payroll somewhere somehow. But so back to this Crimeline. Oh, okay. Here's a little nugget on Greg Landfair that I found. I forgot I had this up. This is just a little paragraph. It just says one of the most shocking. This is about the kind of a timeline on all the horrific things of the case, I guess. It says Greg Landfair Sr., one of the most shocking parts of R. Kelly's child pornography trial was that the victim and her parents denied the charges. Greg Landfair, the father, allegedly continued to work with R. Kelly after the acquittal. Sparkle isn't sure if money was the motive. I really don't know if my family was paid. Well, now we know. We know they were paid, right? She says in the docuseries, I know the family was still hanging out with him, that my brother-in-law, Greg, was still playing guitar on a number of his songs, and that's what it is. Yeah. All right. So
can you imagine the stress that he was under?
I can't even imagine. I would never be in that position. I would never make the choices that man made.
I agree. But I'm
Because they
just
were
saying,
choices.
you know, it had to eat you up every time you seen your child. But remember, she was staying in the basement or something. She wasn't even living with them any longer.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's why he said what he said on the Gayle King show about you show about parents ain't selling me their children. Terrible.
Mm-mm-mm.
Do you remember that?
I sure do. I sure do. I'm looking for this one article I had up. Hold on. It was kind of a breakdown of the docuseries because that's where we left off on the Crimeline. Let me pull up the Crimeline, actually. All right. So we were at 2017 to 2018. No, 2018, 2019. New documentary leads to charges. So, over the course of 6-hour-long episodes, the Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly presents the most comprehensive look at yet at the allegations against the musician. The final 2 segments are particularly harrowing, featuring stark testimony from his accusers and footage of parents attempting to rescue daughters that they say they haven't seen for years. While many of the stories are familiar, the documentary rams home the argument that R. Kelly was enabled by those around him. That's the way it was, said his former tour manager, Demetrius Smith. We worked for him. This is what he wanted. And so this is what we were supposed to give him. 2 weeks after the program is broadcast, Kelly is dropped by his record company. Planned concerts in the US and New Zealand are canceled. In February, celebrity lawyer Michael Avenatti, who we know now is incarcerated, says he has obtained a video showing Kelly having sex with a 14-year-old girl. Weeks later, the star is charged in Chicago with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. He pleads not guilty and defends himself in a histrionic interview. We know that's the Gayle King interview. I do have that indictment. Of course, I'm not going to do that tonight on a Wednesday, but I do want to, let me pull up that. There was a good article about the docuseries. Let me see something. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna get to that one tonight. I'm gonna have to find that because now I done found something else. I'm like, ooh, there's so much out here about this, but there are some nuggets of things that are new, like new to the public. I don't know who these people are. I know the one I was reading from, I put it in the description box. This reporter put this on his own website because I guess they took it down, whoever scrubbed the internet. And he wanted to make sure his article, stayed out. So thanks to him for that. Let me see this here. Yeah. All right. So we'll start. So the next thing was the state charges. Again, I have the indictment, or actually I could pull it up on Pacer. Either way, we'll go over that. It's already been an hour and a half on a Wednesday. I got work in the morning. I know some people don't have work in the morning, but everybody ain't got it like that.
You got that right.
Let me see here in the chat before we go. Why did Aaliyah's parent let her sing Your Body's Calling remix with R. Kelly? I don't think they were involved in the music. I think they left it up to Barry, the uncle. I think they trusted him, to be honest. And I feel like he totally dropped the ball. Queen said that song was inappropriate for a 12-year-old. Sure was. But you know what? A lot of people in the music industry, especially parents who are trying to get their kids' foot, in the door, they chalk it up to being entertainment industry. They just chalk it up to it's entertainment. They want the stardom, they want the money, the fame, so a lot of people turn their heads to this kind of stuff. And that's why R. Kelly is in the position he's in, because he couldn't control himself. People want to continue to blame parents and, they shouldn't have been doing this and that. But at the end of the day, when you think about the actual acts of violence that took place, he is responsible for making the moves and crossing the lines and breaking the law. Him. Physically, he is responsible. Only one. I mean, yeah, of course, the parents obviously should have, if the protection was there, then the people wouldn't have been in the position. But if it wasn't them, it would have been somebody, because, there's a lot of broken children and families, parents who are also broken out here, thirst trapping, trying to clout chase and get money however they can, money and status, especially when it comes to the entertainment industry and the music industry. It's a whole different arena, a whole new, not new, but, it's a whole different world when you're in it. So that's probably, why they don't go by the same standards as regular folks. Let's see, Hazel, Aisha. I don't think her parents knew that she even recorded that song because they weren't there. I highly doubt they would allow a 14-year-old Aaliyah to record a sexually explicit song. I wonder how they felt when the music actually came out, though. Because when the music came out, the rumors, I think, had already been out about the marriage. Or was the music out and then I think the rumors had hit about the marriage? However that worked, the parents, I think, were in the dark for the most part. Well, at least the mother. It sounds like the father knew early enough. He knew before the album was done. Oh, you got kicked out? Oh. Do I need? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to put it back in here in case you want to say something. So I know you have a lot of insight in this era of things. Let's see. I'll be on the phone with Beautiful Spirit, y'all, and we just be talking about this stuff. And she'll just say something that I have never heard before. Some like deep stuff. Like, what? I have never heard that. Where'd you get that from? Oh, I read it here. Let me find it for you. Like, she has all this stuff embedded in her brain. So, when she's on here, she, I try to have her remember stuff because we be having a whole bunch of stuff we talk about and then forget about it. But Demetrius Smith said in his book that R. Kelly wrote his song Trade in My Life about Aaliyah after her parents separated her from him indefinitely. Oh, really? Trade in My Life. I don't know his music like that. So, I mean, I guess I could look it up and see the lyrics, what they are, but what are the lyrics saying? Do we know about the song Trade in My Life? Anybody? Let me see something. Okay. Just like that. Let's see what these lyrics say. Trading my life for you. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sitting here wondering how did things go wrong. Every night asking myself what happened to our happy home. Will I ever see you again? I need to know, my friend. Now the past has gone, but tomorrow's on. Though the sun is going down and I need you around. I'm willing to trade in my life. Oh, you willing to trade in your life as in going to jail? Trading my life for you. I'm willing to trade in my life for you. Now I'm sitting here reminiscing on what we used to share and how we used to be such a happy pair. Oh yeah, I can't believe we've thrown it all away. Tell me, will I see you again someday? Now the past has gone away, but tomorrow is on its way. Though the sun is going down, and I need you. Wow. Let's see. Hey, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm willing to trade it. Yes, I'm trading my life for you. Tell me you are with me. Are you willing to trade it? Trade in my life for you. Will you trade it? Why is he saying, will you trade it? You the one that said you're going to
suicide pact.
Yeah, he's like, I'm willing to trade my life. Will you trade it? What is he
Yeah.
asking? He said, hey, and I don't even have to think about it twice. Hey, I'll trade it. Somebody help me say it. I'll trade it. Until you return to me, I'm going to stay on my hands and knees. And when I see you, I'm going to stand up and reach my hands out to you and trade it. I'm going to trade it. Yeah, I will. Ooh. Wow. I love my music and I love my fans, but I got to step back. Look at this thing like it is sure enough is I'm going to trade it. So he's saying, I love my music and I love my fans, but I got to step back. I got to trade my life. So that does sound like suicide.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we used to say everything is in their love? Tell me, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Wow. That's deep. To gain the world and lose his soul. So he admitted to losing his soul.
Yep.
And then the rest is just, I'm going to trade my life. Consistent. Wow. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, I've never heard it. I didn't hear that one before.
Yeah, I mean,
I done learned something.
Wow.
I could see him putting his suicide pact in the song. He put everything else in the song.
Aaliyah, he said he had Aaliyah say, "Are you hungry?" on that song, Red Your Body's Calling remix, Red Flag. So many red flags with this dude. So many red flags. All right. So what we're going to do is next Wednesday or Kelly night, we'll do the state indictment. And we'll go through that. That's the first one. So we good? Oh, I think there was something else because I remember seeing some. I was like, oh yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure.
I don't know if anybody's seen my comment in the chat that the chaperone for Aaliyah, he kept her in a hotel room for 30 days while he had Aaliyah in the studio across the street from the hotel room until he had her fired and sent back home because he found out that she had told what she saw. So that's what happened.
Oh, the guy's wife, the chaperone?
Yeah.
What? So tomorrow is the Curcio hearing, the 15th of July. The Curcio hearing was set for tomorrow. I'm looking in the notes on Pacer. There's been also another, it says there was another, what is that called? When it's sealed. There's another sealed letter that was filed with the court. It says, letter 6/16/21 previous provided to court as to Robert Kelly. It says it's from Michael Leonard. And Michael Leonard still filing stuff. And they're filing sealed things still. So they're still disputing, it sounds like, what the other lawyers are saying on some things. And what else is going on here? Okay, so I guess they're going to hopefully settle all this lawyer stuff at tomorrow's Curcio hearing at 2:00. And
that's sad and ridiculous too. That he got trial in just around the corner, and they still going back and forth. His defense team with each other, and then the time they need to be spending is trying to come up with a strategy game to defend to represent him.
So Hazel's letting us know that was a Bible verse. Yeah, I think I knew that, but I'm just saying that the fact that he said it, is to me an admission. Hazel's asking, wait, he had a Leah in a hotel room or the chaperone? And
the chaperone.
You had the chaperone in the hotel room?
Yeah, the man said it at the end when it had cut off after he said it. He said that kept her in the hotel room for 30 days while Aaliyah went across the street to the studio.
There's still 2 minutes of this. I'm so sorry. Let me finish him out.
Oh, okay. No problem. You can finish whatever you're doing now.
No, because I was just wrapping up, but here.
So after this situation with the Miami trip, where she like basically ran away with him, how was this rectified? How was this corrected? How were they able to just go on?
First of all, Leah didn't want to go on. She claimed that she was in love with Barry. She was in love with Robert. Now you got to remember, at the time she was 14, and she was begging her father not to have anything done to Robert. Don't press charges on it. Don't do none of these things to Robert. Barry Henderson was saying the same thing. But recall, at the time, Robert was up for a contract with Jive Records, okay? At the contract, I think Barry Henderson was getting something like 4 to 10%, something ridiculous, and it was renewal of the contract. So they telling us to go ahead and on, and we're gonna keep it going and whatnot. But at the same, his flesh and blood niece, knowing that this man had improperly sexual relationship with his niece and didn't expose him, he sold out for the money.
So how long did their relationship go on before people started to say it was too much? Like it was just too much to conceal.
I give Diane credit. If she would have knew from Jump Street, it would have never happened.
Were you around during the marriage?
During the marriage, I was around, but at that time, Diane had pulled my wife. R. Kelly had called out to Hollywood. Barry was staying in California at the time. And he called out to Hollywood and he said, "Who is this woman? She won't give me no time with her. She won't give me no time with her." My wife was on him, Yeah. She was everywhere you go. Because that's what Diane told my wife. You be everywhere she go. He called out to California, to Hollywood, and told her, "I can't do nothing with her. Me and Leah need time together." They pulled my wife back. And for 30 days, my wife sat in the hotel making her money. And Leah, that was the time I think that things probably got cozy.
Right. Oh, so they basically paid your wife to go away.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And she was sequestered?
Yeah. My wife was in the hotel. She'd go to the studio. It was right across the street from the hotel. She'd go to the studio here and there. But it was like R. Kelly didn't want her there. Because my wife was telling me one time that he would tell her, "Sing like you making love." Well, at the time, Leah had never made love. And she asked my wife, "What is he trying to say?"
Right.
That is sick. Telling her to sing like she's making love. She's 12, 14, 13, 14 years old.
Yep. And ask his wife, what is he saying? What is he trying to say?
Oh my God. So Yolanda, the federal trials aren't going to be televised as far as I know. I know the state trial, the judge did approve cameras, but not for federal.
Yeah, I know the state was approved in Chicago for cameras, but not federal.
Yeah. So back to the Pacer thing, just to make sure I covered everything here. Somebody said Nicole Becker sent a private letter. I don't see anything with Nicole Becker's name. Oh yeah, I do actually. I'm sorry. The letter that was filed, it's a supplemental letter supporting the motion for the Curcio hearing as to Robert Sylvester Kelly, and that was filed by Nicole Becker today. And I believe it's sealed, but I'm gonna look and make sure. Because yeah, it's under seal. So all the dirt is being slung still between the lawyers and sealed letters before this Curcio hearing takes place tomorrow. And hopefully, after the fact, we'll find out what exactly happened. I think the Curcio is a private hearing, right? Well, meaning not one of them telephone hearings like sometimes they have, where people could call in and listen. Mm-hmm. And they're gonna all be there in person. So except for, I don't know if Greenberg and them probably gonna be on the phone, but Yolanda said, "I know as he sit in his cell, he knows the wages of sin is death."
Now, did you peep how when he said that he called to Hollywood?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
He said he needs time with her. The lady's not letting him have time with her. So he basically cried and whined and stomped his feet till he got his way. Paid that lady to sit there and let him do what he wanted to do.
So did he call out to Hollywood to Barry Hankerson or call out to Hollywood to the record label?
It sounded like he was calling to Barry, or to, when he said Hollywood, it sounded like he was talking to whoever was in charge of her. Like,
Oh,
it must have been Barry. It had to have been Barry because Barry was the one running everything.
Yeah, he said that he was living in California at the time. Hankerson was.
Yeah, I think he still lives out here in the valley, from what I understand.
Yeah. Ain't
The
that
big old
something? So Hankerson was like, "Oh, I'll make those arrangements and change it around." And then was with Aaliyah's side, begging her father and them not to have nothing done to him, because he said Hankerson was saying the same thing about please don't do nothing to him.
Hankerson probably, he had to save face.
Yeah.
After people found out, I'm sure he had to act like he was mad. He knew what was going on. We'll pick up, like I said, on Saturday, next Wednesday. But Saturday, there's a lot of topics I want to cover. We can maybe touch on this. If anything comes up new, this Curcio hearing, any information, we'll touch on that on Saturday. And then, there's some stuff in the news I want to talk about. Haiti, pray for Haiti. It's a mess. A mess. Yeah, but yeah, everybody stay safe. You beautiful spirit, take care of yourself. Drink your tea and all that good stuff. And everybody, enjoy the rest of the week.
Right now.
Good. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week and come back on Saturday. It's going, that's when we really hang on Saturday night. This is more like business for me. I feel like I'm at work. Yeah, being here as always.
Great.
Huh?
This was great.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of information. A lot of stuff I hadn't heard before also. So thank you for giving us the insight. And yeah, unless y'all have any last words, we out.
Peace,
All right,
everybody.
y'all. Peace.